Hello! Today I will be doing a big book haul. It was my birthday yesterday, and one of the things I like to do on my birthday or around my birthday is go on a big book buying trip with no limits, so I can just buy anything I like. So I have two big stacks of books here. One is from a second-hand bookstore and another one are all new books. So let's start with the second-hand books first. The first two were actually second-hand books, but they look absolutely brand new. We have Zora Neale Hurston's Hitting a Straight Lick with a Crooked Stick, and these are all short stories which have just recently been collected. Some of them are previously sort of uncovered short stories, and I really liked Their Eyes Were Watching God by her, so I wanted to read something more by her, so I picked this one up. And then another book that looks absolutely brand new is Matrix by Groff. Groff is one of those authors that I think I will really like, but I just haven't read anything by her. And this, I believe, is set in France, but I'm not sure where I'm getting that information from, so I might be wrong. This book is about a young girl who's sent away to a nunnery by her parents because she just seems to be too tall and too undesirable, and it's all about what she gets up to at that nunnery. And I've heard really good things about this one, so I'm excited to read it. I also got A Mouthful of Birds by Samantha Schweblin, and this is translated from the Spanish by Mbatha, and she's an Argentinian author. These are short stories again, and I think they're kind of in this supernatural, horror, weird kind of realm, which I really like in short stories. Also, I think this cover is beautiful. And then I have an author I know I like, which is Sarah Moss, and this is Summerwater. And this is about some people who are on like a holiday park with like little chalets in Scotland, and it's a very rainy day, and everyone is just sitting in their little house and spying on each other and wondering about what the other people are up to, which just sounds exactly like my kind of thing. I also got Tiny Beautiful Things by Cheryl Strait, and this is the kind of book that if someone told me what it was, I don't think I would have picked it up, but loads of people who I really trust their opinion have read it and really liked it, so I'm gonna give it a go. Cheryl Strait did an advice column as Dear Sugar, and she gave out advice like a sort of agony aunt, and these are, you know, different questions and different answers she's given over the years, all collected in a book. And yeah, I think it's a good book to read a little bit every day. I also got Moon Tiger by Penelope Lively, which has a really cool cover, I think. Winner of the 1987 Booker Prize. And this is about an old lady who is dying, and on her deathbed she sort of talks about everything she's done in her life. And one of the main things in her life is that she was a war correspondent in Egypt during the Second World War. Yeah, I always like all the protagonists, and it seemed like this one has got an interesting story to tell, so also one I'm really looking forward to. I also got Surfacing by Margaret Atwood. I'm very interested in Margaret Atwood's older work, Cat's Eye is one of my favorite. So yeah, I don't really know much about this book, but I love Margaret Atwood's writing style, and also I really love this cover, and it does match my cover of Cat's Eye. So I'm happy to add this to my collection. And then the last book I got secondhand was The Women of Brewster Place by Gloria Naylor. This is a book I've been wanting to read for quite a while, so I was really happy when I saw it. This book is about 7 black women who all live in the same street, and I believe you get to hear each of their stories. So it's sort of an interlinked short story collection. I think it's going to be very much slice of life stories, which I really enjoy. Then I also got here a whole pile of new books. The first one is Kaikeyi by Vaishnavi Patel. This is a retelling of an Indian myth. I know very little on Indian mythology, but I like those stories where they retell a myth from the female perspective, and I think this is exactly that. And I picked up The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is one of those books that I've been seeing popping up over the last couple of years, and it sounds really like a fun and interesting read. I've recently read a sci-fi book for the first time in a long while, and I really like what sci-fi can do in the way of exploring ideas. So this is the story about a crew on a spaceship, but it is a lot more character based than what you might expect from a sci-fi story. So I'm glad to finally have a chance to read this. I picked up Loveless by Alice Oseman because I've just read the Heartstopper series and really loved it, and I wanted to read some of her prose. So I'm curious to see whether it will be just as good. I have another short story collection from an Argentinian author, which is The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana Enriquez. And this, I believe, is also translated by Megan McDowell. I really liked Things We Lost in the Fire by this author. And yeah, she's just really good at the weird and creepy kind of stories. I got I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. This is translated from the French by Ross Schwartz. And this was originally published in 1995. It is a kind of dystopian book where there's 40 women all imprisoned in a cage with like guards surrounding them. And these women have no idea how they got there, and only like vague memories of their lives before. Then there turns out there's one girl amongst them who can, I don't know, help them escape or something. Yeah, I'd never heard of this book, but it caught my eye, so I picked it up. I've got Creatures of Passage by Moroa Yejide, which was longlisted for the Women's Prize. It is a story that draws heavily from, I believe, Egyptian mythology, but it is set in New York. And I think it's a book where the real world and the supernatural mythological world are very closely interlinked. And I've heard really great things about this one. this is another book that I hadn't heard of before. It's Black Lion by Sicelo Mbatha. He is a Zulu from South Africa. I think this is a memoir of sorts, where his relationship with the wilderness and all the animals is very much central to his life. I believe he works as a nature guide, and this is very much on what that work has taught him. I got Crying in H Part by Michelle Zauner. This is also a memoir. It is about the author lost her mother, I believe, quite unexpectedly, and this is about her grief, and especially the role food plays in that whole process. And I have heard nothing but good things about this one. And lastly, I have Small Bodies of Water by Mingya Powles, and these are all different essays about the author's relationship with water, and it has themes like immigration, family, what it's like to grow up between two cultures, and her bond with different bodies of water and nature. So that just sounds excellent as well. And finally, I also picked up 2 blind date books, where you buy a wrapped book and it has some things written on the cover giving you clues about what the book might be. I have been trying to work it out what they are, but I haven't been able to. So I'll tell you what the clues are, and then you can see if you can figure it out. So this one says short stories, debut, clashing of first and second generations, Korean American families, language barriers, immigration, elderly care, and familial bonds. And then lastly it says deeply moving, and then here there's a quote of the book as well. So let's see what's in here. It is Skinship by Yoon, Choi. So I've never heard of this book, but from what it said, from those little clues, I think I'm gonna really like it. It has a lot of things I like in a book. Also, I really love this cover, so I'm very happy with this one. And then the last one says grief and recovering from it, melancholy that comes with dusk, an orphaned girl, her silent and sensitive friends, and his transsexual mother, gentle, ethereal and comforting. And then there's another quote as well. So yeah, again, I have no clue what this book might be. So let's find out. It's Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. I have actually heard of this book, but it's just one of those books that have been on my radar, but I've never really known what it's about. So yeah, I'm very excited to add this to my collection. So those are all the books I got for my birthday. I'm very excited by all of these, and I'm really looking forward to reading them. It has been really fun to just browse in the bookshop and go in without any previous notions of what I wanted to pick up. I think I got a really fun stack. If there's any books on here that you have anything to say about, especially if you like them, then please let me know. I love to hear your thoughts, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.